Amethyst, you were right." Emerald's voice echoed through the hallways and down the stairs to the great hall where she breakfasted with her mother and some holiday guests. "He's here!" Emerald burst into the great hall, pulled Amethyst from her chair, and breathlessly dragged her out into the courtyard. "Come, greet him at the gatehouse," she called behind her, and they broke into a run. Amethyst caught up and led the way. "No," she halted. Emerald nearly knocked her over as they collided. "I mustn't let him think I've been waiting all this while for him. Let me go to my chambers and have a servant bring him to me." As anxious as she was to see Henry again and throw her arms around him, to feel his body against hers, and to gaze into those golden eyes, she knew she couldn't behave that way. "He's come all this way. He can come another few hundred paces," she declared. Taking her sister by the arm, she strode back through the courtyard to her apartments. She chose the most lavish velvet gown from her wardrobe and yanked at her headdress, replacing it with Henry's favourite ivory combs. The castle buzzed with excitement over the royal visit. Sabine ordered the servants to rustle up a banquet for that eve. Cleaners hastily swept the floors and scattered fresh rushes down. Laundresses washed linens, and chambermaids readied the elegant king's bedroom for his stay. Sweeping through the corridor towards the solar, Amethyst trembled with excitement. Keeping her emotions under cover, as she had in the very beginning, would require some serious acting. He sat before the fire, sipping a tankard of ale. A few minstrels lingered about, his footstool in the corner talking with the grooms, and a light chatter hummed through the air. The room fell into a dead silence as she entered, filling the doorway with her white satin skirts, her long billowing sleeves trimmed in white rabbit fur, gleaming in a milky sea of pearls. The teardrop pearl he'd given her nestled twixt her breasts. He fixed his eyes directly on it. Her heart thumped with every step she took closer to him. Finally she stood before him and curtsied deeply. As she rose, he turned to his retinue, and with a wave of his hand they vanished as if by magic. "My lord, it is such a pleasure to welcome you back to Warwick Castle." Thank God her voice came through without a tremble or a break. She wanted so badly to hurl herself into his arms, to tumble with him to the floor, to make up for all these wasted months of yearning. But she stood rigidly waiting for him to speak. "Why did you leave so abruptly, Amethyst?" His tone was flat, devoid of all emotion. "I got terribly frustrated and tired of waiting," she told him the bare truth. "This divorce was taking forever, and I thought my leaving would prompt you to speed up the process." "You got tired of waiting," he thundered. "You! And what do you think I have been going through, you selfish woman? Do you have any idea how this matter has tormented me? Look at my eyes, look at my hair." He pointed with his huge fingers as he spoke. "I have been applying the daftest of salves and ointments to my dome every bloody night to prevent any further of this hideous thinning. And you think you are frustrated. But, my lord, I realize how I missed you." She rushed up to him till they stood within kissing distance. "I've made up my mind. I want to marry you. I accept your marriage proposal. I do not want to keep you waiting a moment longer. I do not care if you are not yet divorced. I accept, and I shall wait as long as I need to." He looked away, and the orange citrines in his cap caught the fire's glow. "I have put the preliminary steps of my break with Rome into effect." "Which means what?" He never got right to the point, one of his annoying traits. "I shall be free to marry in a few months' time," he said. "Oh, sire!" She went to grab his arms, but held back. "That's grand, sire! We shall be married by spring." He shook his head. His eyes darted everywhere. "We cannot be married at all, Amethyst." Her heart crashed. She fought a rising sickness. "Why not?" she managed to choke out. I must marry Anne.